It's story time. Just a handful of people actually know that I accidentally delivered my daughter at home myself. I am not a trained professional. I did not plan this. It's just something that happened. So here we go. As many of you know, COVID happened. Lockdown happened. And with all the restrictions going on in the entire world, the hospital was one of them. With all the diseases going around and all the quarantine and all the precautions, let's just say 2020 was stressful. I didn't want to purposefully bring myself or my unborn child into that type of an environment. So I had joked, mind you, I joked that I would have this baby at home. Be careful what you wish for or what you joke, because it just might come true. So I had joked, many people talked to me during COVID, and I had said this to them. You could ask them. But anyway, I joked that I was going to have this baby at home. So I went to all my appointments. I did the maternal, the specialist, because once you hit 35-year-old. But anyway, I did that. I went to the midwives like I was supposed to, because I did midwifery care. I did all my appointments alone, because you're not supposed, during COVID, you weren't allowed to have any other support person there. So I did all the things. And I remember I was at week 39, and they were talking to me about possibly being induced, and I wasn't okay with that. And I had told them actually at the specialist office while they were doing their testing on me, making sure the baby was okay. They had asked me about that, and I declined. And I had told them that I was going to drink my red raspberry leaf tea, or raspberry leaf tea, as some of you may know it as. But I told them I had not started. And they're looking at me like, what? See, I haven't started yet. And I'm like, why? I said, well, I needed to put my daughter's crib together. I wasn't ready for her to come yet. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. One of the nurses, informed me that babies come when they want to. And I just kind of, yeah, okay. I know. But anyway, I went on with the appointment. And literally, that was, I think, a Wednesday. So literally, about 5 days later, I delivered my daughter at home. So how this worked out was Monday, I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning to some contractions. I didn't know if they were Braxton Hicks contractions. I didn't know if they're regular. I don't know, because I can't figure that stuff out. But anyway, I just know I was having some sort of contractions. And so that went on until about 11 a.m. that morning, Monday morning, and I started to spot a little bit. So I was a little concerned. So I contacted midwives. They ask you all the questions, and everything seemed to be fine. And I was informed that I was probably starting my labor, or the beginning stages of it. So I went on back. Hello. I just wanted to give you a quick update. Today is September the 14th. I've been experiencing some light menstrual-like cramps. So I contacted my midwife, and it was confirmed that I am officially in early labor. So she could be here any day, any time, depending on how fast the process goes. So I just want to give you a heads up. I'm excited. Whoop, whoop. I'm ready for her to come up out of there. So anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up, and bye for now. Beginning stages of it. So I went on about my day. I did a curbside order. I ended up at Wegmans. My son and I drove him over there. And so, while I'm waiting for them to bring out my groceries, I'm standing there leaning against the car with my contractions and everything. So nothing too horrible though. I can manage it. I have a high tolerance for pain anyway. So I go home, get settled. I'm eating, I'm just going about my day and such. And so then you know, later as it goes on, I think around 10 o'clock I was messaging somebody about some baby clothes, and while I'm messaging them on Facebook, I believe, I was in labor. I was having, nothing too horrible, you know, but anyway. You know, but anyway, so as the night went on, you know, my husband had taken a nap that day, and he woke up probably 11-12 o'clock at night, that Monday night, which is now technically into Tuesday morning. I mean, those contractions picked up. Let me tell you, they really picked up. And so it is after 12 midnight, September the 15th, 2020, and I am in labor. It is my birthday as well. Yay! There is a slight chance that I will be sharing this birthday with my baby girl, but we'll see. We'll see if she does. The contractions are getting a little bit more intense, a little bit more close together, so there is no plan to use any kind of pain management or anything like that. I'll just rock through them and we'll see. I didn't last time, so the only thing that works for me is to bend over something and then sway my hips back and forth. That's the only relief I can get. So I have applied my oils that I made prepped the other day, but that may or may not help, but I did put that on. So here we go. All right, they really picked up, and so I'm by this point I'm leaning over the couch. I'm like, you know, breathing through it, you know, as best I can. All the things I had been taught to do in my previous pregnancy classes. Now, mind you, I was not trained to deliver. I was not trained to deliver. I just went to the classes that teach you how to manage the pain. You know, the breathing techniques, you know, the medicine ball, whatever. I did all the things. So anyway, and this was before COVID. I did this while I was pregnant with my son. So these are the things. And what I found for me was the only thing that would work was for me to bend over a high level surface. Like in my case, it ended up being the couch. And then later on, it ended up being the entertainment center. So anyway, I'm gone. I mean, by this time, we're cranking. I'm clocking it on my app, you know, how many minutes apart, because I don't know how it is for everybody else, but in midwifery, they didn't want to see me until I was 5 minutes apart. And I live 30 to 35 minutes away from the hospital. So you do the math. We did it with my son, and I delivered an hour and a half after I arrived with him. So I felt this was going to be okay too. So anyway, I'm clocking and my husband had packed my son up. All the bags were already in the car. And by this time, it's sometime after 1 o'clock. I mean, it's getting real. I end up calling my doctor. I ended up calling my godmother. I had gone to the bathroom and I called. I mean, these contractions were coming through so strong I couldn't even really talk that well. So I get out of there. She's gonna meet us at the hospital so she could pick up my son. And so I'm literally hanging over the entertainment center. I couldn't even get outside. It's just, I mean, they were coming so quick, and I looked down at the app, and I'm clocking them at 2 minutes apart now. So this baby is ready to come up out of here. So I finally get outside. Finally, I don't even know how, but I finally get outside, and at that time I had a station wagon, and so I'm at the back right wheel tire, okay, trying to walk up to get into the passenger side of the car. My son is screaming and crying. He doesn't know what's happening. It's the middle of the night. My husband gets getting everything situated. And so, I just felt the need. I told my husband, come on over here, help me with my underwear. Like, help me with these things down. So he does. And I'm just hanging out there, butterball and everything, just in the middle of the night. Thankfully, it was dark, so nobody could see me. But anyway, I said, help me put my skirt back down. Anyway, so he does. And so he goes back around the other side of the car. And by that time, I kind of reached down because I'm feeling that urge to push, bearing down. And so I reached down and I could feel her head. She was crowning. So then I was like, I yelled at my husband. Mind you, I'm still going through my labor, rounds of labor, ups and downs, if you're familiar with labor. So I said, holler to my husband, she's coming. And he hollered back, yeah, she's coming. This is what this is about. This is what we're going to the hospital. Like, duh. I said, no, she's coming. And so I went through another round of contractions. And then I did a squat. And she came out. I did a squat. I did a very low squat, in case y'all were worried. I wasn't high up. I did a very low squat to the point where I could feel the leaves underneath my hands. And I scooped that little girl up. And there she was in my arms, umbilical cord and everything attached. I was in a state of shock for a moment, like this literally just happened. But my body also felt relieved because I wasn't in excruciating pain. Not to scare you away. Anyway, so by that time, my husband had got on the phone with 911. And so he got on the phone with 911. And so they kind of walked him through what to do next. And he ran in the house. Mind you, I'm still outside with his baby in the middle of the night. He runs inside, gets one of my shoestrings, and ties off the umbilical cord. And so then he tells me to go inside. Oh, before I did that, she wouldn't cry. From the movies, the baby's supposed to cry. So I'm like patting her on the butt a little bit. I'm like, come on. Not too hard, but just a little, hello. And she kind of whimpered a little bit. I was like, okay, then that's okay. She made a sound. So anyway, it was getting a little chilly. So my husband told me go inside. Oh, but before I did, and just so you know how my brain thinks, I say to myself, the hospital is going to want to know what time she was born. So, holding my baby, I went into the car, pushed the clock button, and it told me at 1:46. I said, well, she's been here for a couple minutes. We'll say 1:43. So anyway, I said 1:43. Okay, we'll go with that. So I go inside. And so he's still on the phone. My husband's still on the phone with the operator. And so he goes inside and grabs one of my Pyrex bowls, my big mixing bowls. And I'm sitting on the love seat, holding my baby, still attached to me. And so he puts it underneath me, like he's about to milk a cow or something. So he puts it under me, and so I scooch forward, and I pass the placenta too. She's still attached to it. So after a few moments or so later, feels like the entire emergency squad ended up at my house. Now mind you, I have a small house. So I have all these people filling in. There was one lady on the team, and she kind of took charge. She took the baby and she examined her, make sure she was okay. And I have all these EMT, firefighters, EMT, ambulance, paramedics, in my home. And so I got up from the couch and I went in my bedroom and I changed my clothes. And then I walked back out, filled out the paperwork. And by that time, they had informed me that for safety reasons, they would have to strap my daughter to her own bed, her own stretcher. So she got her own ambulance and I got my own. So I went in there, I walked right up into the ambulance and off we went. And so we went to the hospital, and I don't have any footage of this, but I do have the memory, the excitement of this. And then the other thing was, one of my very good friends, she called it. My baby was born on my birthday. It doesn't get any better than that. So off to the hospital we go, and apparently one of the EMT, or a couple of them, young guys, they were kind of squeamish about the situation. And one of the nurses had told them, "What are you talking about? You see worse things than this." So anyway, I get there. My midwife was there, and they ended up having to stitch me up at a 2nd-degree tear. And I was a complete baby about that. One of the nurses held my hand, and I was just freaking out about that, because you got this big hunk of needle that has to go down there, and just to numb you and then stitch you up. It was gruesome. So she was like, "You just delivered a baby yourself." I said, "I know, but I can't do this." I even tried to get out of it, but she told me the importance of it. So anywho, so that's my story of how my daughter was accidentally born at home and delivered by me. In fact, the midwife, she said they have this board where they would put the patient's name and who delivered. On her section, it says delivered by patient herself. I hope you enjoy my story, and I hope you do take note that raspberry leaf tea, or red raspberry leaf tea, does in fact work. It is a normal and natural method. You don't have to have Pitocin or whatever other methods they have. You can try, provided that you have the okay from your doctor or your midwife. So I know from firsthand 2 times that it works. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my story. Hope I made you laugh a little bit. So you take care.